Hi, I'm your host Vasco Duarte. Welcome to the Scrum Master Toolbox podcast, where we share tips and tricks from Scrum Masters around the world. Every day, we bring you inspiring answers to important questions that all Scrum Masters face day after day. Hello everybody, welcome to our Wednesday, the Leading Change episode this week with Samet Ulutas. Hi Samet, welcome back.
Hi, Vasco.
Samet, today is Wednesday. We talk about change, and of course, change is one of the things that we are always involved with. It could be a team level change, could be an organizational level change, could be our own or some team members' change. All kinds of change processes we are involved with every day, and therefore we need to grow our change leadership skills. And that's what we want to talk about today. So we want you to share with us a story of a change process you were involved with. Walk us through how it happened, how it started, what kind of questions or resistance you were getting, whatever that is. And then walk us through step by step, the tools, the tips, the tricks, the techniques you learned back then that you still use today.
Actually, I was involved in the entire Agile transformation of my current company. In the early stages, I was a project manager who owned the traditional way of working. However, in the late of 2018, I joined the Agile Coach office after taking a great 1 month training in Madrid. Last 3 years, we changed many things in the organization. At first, we trained each individual for 2 days in terms of Agile way of working. We designed the trainings using gamification approach and back of the room training technique to improve the effectiveness. Then we organized 2 days of Agile kickoff meetings for each team, which includes team building activities, product backlog, and vision creation, and so on. Later on, we mentored the new Scrum Masters and teach them how to facilitate the Agile ceremonies, how to remove impediments, how to help the teams. After a certain point, we needed to assess the Agile maturity level of Agile teams, but we didn't have a tool at that time. Then we benchmarked the competitors and our parent company's tools, and then created our own customized tool, and we called it as Agile Mirror. The name for the tool was also suggested by one of the team members. This tool is some kind of survey, which includes 35 detailed questions to assess the team dynamics, fitness of Agile, roles and responsibilities of effectiveness. The most critical thing is that there is not a third party evaluates these parameters instead of team members. Team members assess their own Agile maturity levels by themselves. Later on, with a 2 or 3 hours meeting, team members try to create an action plan for the next 6-month period to improve their agility with the help of Scrum Masters. As Agile Coach, we also were responsible to empower the new Scrum Masters, product owners, leaders, and development team members in terms of Agile way of working. Therefore, we created unique empowerment training programs for each role, which lasts around 4 to 6 days of each. When I think about this great transformation, there are 2 things I memorize with full of energy. The first one, we put huge physical boards to each floor in the technology campus called as Kudo walls to become an example to increase the appreciation culture, and it was really owned by the organization. Today, people still thank each other for anything using online Kudo cards. The second was about getting the real feedback about the Agile transformation. We were trying to gather the feedback with surveying people once in a 6-month period, but there was a fear about criticism, the Agile transformation that I realized on my one-on-ones. Then I again used a similar approach with Kudo walls and put other huge boards to the walls to gather the real feedback anonymously. This time, tough problems were delivered to us anonymously, but it was a great opportunity to find out and address solutions to those real problems. By doing that, Agile Office became one of the most visible examples of the feedback approach.
Absolutely. So the idea of collecting feedback is critical for us to learn. And as we, help the transformation along, I think it's a great point that you just illustrated, that we need to be the example of what that means. And you gave several examples, right? First, this idea of self-assessment. So that's self-feedback, right? The team giving feedback to themselves. then the kudo wall, right? So giving positive, reinforcing feedback, which is very important, especially when you're in the middle of a transformation. And then the survey, which you replaced with anonymous feedback walls about the problems that people were facing in the organization. That becomes, as you said, an example, right? Like the Agile Coaching organization was the example of collecting feedback. As you went through this transformation, as you started to collect this feedback, what do you think were kind of the key moments, the things that really helped the team and the organization to start to use this idea of feedback more?
There was a criticism about project management, I guess. After the Agile transformation, Scrum Masters was responsible to take care of the projects in the Agile tool. But there was a mandatory thing because of the tool, and they were complaining about it. We know it from our 101s, but we couldn't solve that problem before that great tool. And I remember one important criticism there. They said that you changed project manager as us with Scrum Masters, so we don't want to do that anymore. So it was really difficult to handle at that time, but we tried to figure out the solution and we tried to escalate it to our C levels.
Yeah, absolutely. And that is a big change, right? To change from project management approach or paradigm into an agile paradigm. And this ability to, you call it complain, which is, of course, possibly exactly what they were doing. But this approach of making those complaints visible, you said, then we escalated it to the C levels, are a very practical way to put a spotlight on the pains of the organization, because we usually don't complain about the things that are working well, right? And to be able to put that spotlight and then even escalate it because it's public, right? It's on the wall, dear CEO.
Yeah, they're all visible. We just help them to create them.
Yeah, exactly. And of course, the anonymity might be a necessity at that point as we start the transformation. It can definitely be a great catalyst, a great help. Thank you for sharing that story, Samet.
Thank you, Vasco.
Leading change is one of the core skills we must acquire, but it is only one of the steps towards our success as Scrum Masters. Tomorrow, on Success Thursday, we will talk about how to define success for the Scrum Master role, we'll cover tips on how to measure your way to that position, and most importantly, how to develop that focus on continuous improvement that is as important for Scrum Masters as it is for teams. See you tomorrow. We really hope you liked our show. And if you did, why not rate this podcast on Stitcher or iTunes? Share this podcast and let other Scrum Masters know about this valuable resource for their work. Remember that sharing is caring.